Chapter 10.
Jane's POV. We settle into the room, and I gently wipe Valentine down with a wet cloth. It's a little too chilly today for a full bath. Once he's nestled and dozing, I indulge in the longest, steamiest shower I've had in ages, hoping to cleanse away the lingering memories of last night. Discovering my mate, seeing him, only to find he didn't recognize me was a blow. But what cut deeper was the sight of him with another woman. The anguish tore through me as I fled home, a mixture of heartbreak and physical pain. When Martin brought me there, I held on to the hope that he would recognize our son, that we could find the support we needed, that maybe everything could be repaired, especially upon realizing he was my mate. It sparked a flicker of hope within me for the first time in ages, only to have it snatched away. Now, once again, I'm failing my son. That much is painfully clear. I believed I could handle this. I thought I had more strength than this. But eventually, everyone cracks. There's a breaking point for everyone, and I've reached mine. Suddenly, every burden becomes too heavy, and I shatter. At least in the solitude of the shower, no one can witness the depth of my despair. The water washes away the pain until it reduces me to my knees. It's painfully evident now how utterly alone I am. The silence of loneliness is suffocating and icy. No comforting words, no helping hand to gather the fragments, no companionship. I've lost my identity. I'm nobody now, just a mother, just another outcast for society to scorn, even though he is my mate. But he couldn't even recognize me. I grasp how inconsequential and insignificant I am to everyone except my little boy. The knock on the door startles me, jolting my head up from where it's buried against my knees. I scramble to my feet, turning off the water and reaching for a towel. Jane, dear, open the door for me. Sorry, just a sec, I call back, quickly checking on Valentine before hastily throwing a shirt over the towel to look somewhat presentable. I swing open the door to find Carmela standing there with a tray in her hands, balancing 2 plates on it. I thought I'd come join you in here. Time must have slipped away from you, Carmela remarks. I quickly take the tray from her, and she steps inside, heading towards the small table. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I'd been in there for so long. I apologize, stealing a glance at the old analog clock on the wall. Had I really lost track of time like that? It's all right, dear. I could hear you were upset, so I thought I'd come and lend a listening ear, she explains, and I furrow my brows at her words. She nods towards the bathroom behind me. That vent directly above my kitchen? It's like a symphony conductor for echoes through the pipes. I've been meaning to call someone to fix it, but it seems no one's eager to lend a hand to a rebel like me, a renegade in their eyes, she says with a sad smile. My cheeks flush with embarrassment, and I instinctively touch them. I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I hope I didn't disturb you. I apologize. She waves off my concern. Forget it, dear. I've been where you are. I would have moved you to another room, but this is the only decent one left that's functional. The place is falling apart, she explains. Valentine starts fussing, and I begin to rise, but Carmela beats me to it. Go get your pajamas on. I'll watch him. Isn't that right, sugar? Yes, I love me some baby cuddles, she says, beaming down at him as she scoops him up into her arms. Go on, get dressed, and then we can talk, she suggests, and I nod, swiftly rummaging through my bag to grab some clothes before hurrying to the bathroom. I dress quickly and return with my hair wrapped in a towel. He is such a sweet boy, Carmela coos to him. Eventually, he drifts off, and she carefully places him back in bed. So, what made you upset? Why the tears? She inquires gently. It's nothing. Everything just got to be too much, I reply softly as we unwrap our dinner from the aluminum foil. We tuck into the food, and I bare my soul to Carmela, telling her everything. It's as if a weight is lifted off my chest as I pour out my heart to someone who listens so attentively. Carmela shares her own story with me. She found her mate when she was my age, but as an Omega, he couldn't bear the shame it would bring to his family. Such prejudice over rank is rare these days. What tore her apart was that he never outright rejected her. Instead, he kept her by his side, unable to let her go because he couldn't face the idea of her belonging to someone else. She became nothing more than a side piece to maintain his facade of strength. Rejecting a mate weakens us, but I can't help but feel disgusted by his callousness in forcing her to endure such loneliness. When she became pregnant, he took their son, claiming it would be better if he raised him. She hasn't seen her son since he was a baby, her mate having told him she died during childbirth. Her story is heart-wrenching and tragic, yet despite it all, she still harbors love for him. Have you ever considered moving on? I inquire, and she shakes her head almost immediately. He still comes in every couple of weeks to stay the night, she tells me casually, as if the idea of finding someone else never crossed her mind. Can I ask you something? Something a little personal. I venture, needing to know if this torment will haunt me forever. You can ask me anything, but then I have a question for you. She agrees, and I nod. When I found my mate, he was with another woman. The pain. I mean, does it feel like that all the time? Will it feel like that every time he's with someone? I finally voice the question that's been gnawing at me. She swallows, her eyes growing glassy. Carmela sinks back into her chair, gazing out the window as she takes a deep gulp. You'll learn to endure it. Eventually, you might even welcome it. Why on earth would I welcome that pain? I ask, puzzled. Because it fuels your anger. I love my mate, but I also despise him. Sometimes, hating them hurts less than facing the reality that you'll never truly have them. It reminds you to keep living despite their actions. Hold on to that anger, because sometimes it's the only thing that keeps you going, she explains with a heavy tone. I've got a prescription, though, powerful painkillers. They dull the pain, but if he's anything like my mate, the agony is over before the drugs even kick in. She lets out a bitter laugh. Damn two-stroker. Tosses his mate and wonders why he can't fuck right. She chuckles to herself, and I snort at her crude language, trying to stifle my own laughter. She sighs, and I offer her a sympathetic smile. So, what's your plan now? She inquires. Not entirely sure. Maybe I'll go back to my car, see if I can get my old job back. Although he turned me down last time I asked, I reply. How about this? I hire you. I could use the help around here. Not much can be done to salvage this dump now, she suggests with a laugh, gesturing around the room. What do you say? Or is it too daunting? I could always just burn it down, she adds with another laugh, her eyes twinkling mischievously. I laugh too, thinking that burning the place down might indeed be the easier option. I've been tempted to, but this place has been in my family for generations. It's sentimental to me, she confesses. I think it just needs some TLC, new linens, carpets, a fresh coat of paint. The list could go on forever. So, if you're interested, you can live here rent-free, and I'll cover your meals and pay you a wage. Let's say $30 an hour, she offers, and I'm taken aback. I hadn't even been making half that at the restaurant I used to work at, and that place had steady business. Are you serious? I ask incredulously. Absolutely. I could use the company and the help. I've lost motivation to do it myself over the years. We can start by fixing up this room for you and Valentine, she suggests, scanning the surroundings. Tears well up in my eyes at her unbelievably generous offer. Don't suppose you have any friends? This might be a bit overwhelming for both of us, she murmurs, breaking off a piece of the table, the wood crumbling in her hand. I think of Zelda and Margaret from the maternity ward. I might be able to reach out to 2 other girls I know from the maternity unit. They might be willing to lend a hand, I suggest. Rogues, she inquires, and I nod. Good. Tell them I'll pay them $25 an hour. I'm good for it. I have more money than I can spend in this lifetime, so it would be great to get some help. It would be nice to see this place up and running again. It used to be the most popular hotel in the city when my mother had it. There's even a function room out the back. Weddings used to be held here, but not since it started falling apart, she explains, her tone hopeful. So no one responds when you reach out? I inquire, baffled. What's wrong with people? Who would turn her away? Not a soul. I arrange for workers, but they never show up. My mate keeps tabs on my phones. He's paranoid. I'm pretty sure it's his doing, she explains with a heavy sigh. Well then, I'll reach out to the girls and see if they're interested in work. Would it be okay if they brought their babies along? I ask. Absolutely. There's even an old play center off the side of the restaurant downstairs. We could fix it up for when they're older and can play. We can take turns watching them. While they're still little, we can just strap the babies to us, she suggests. I know Margaret has family, but Zelda, I think, is in a situation similar to mine. She was a bit quiet and a year younger than me, I mention. If either of them need a place to stay, there are plenty of rooms available. There are units out back as well, but they need a lot of work, she informs me. Well, I'll let you get some rest. Let me know if the girls are interested in helping out and when they can start. Join us for breakfast in the morning as well. Oh, and here, she says, handing me a key. That will give you access to my studio, so you can use the kitchen if I'm not around, although that's rare. I don't really have anywhere else to be, she chuckles. Thank you, Carmela. You have no idea how much this means to my son and me, I express gratefully. You don't have to thank me, Jane. I'll catch you in the morning and we'll get the ball rolling on ordering supplies. There should be a pen and paper in the drawer, unless the moths have had their way with them. Jot down anything you notice that needs to be taken care of, and we'll tackle it together tomorrow, she instructs before glancing down at Valentine on the bed. She brushes her finger down his little nose, her eyes softening before she clears her throat and nods to me, then walks out.